Today's question on YouTube: what novel are you reading? I like to read a lot of nonfiction books, particularly biographies, history, war strategy books, personal development books, those types of books. But one of the novels that I enjoy reading with my students, besides Call of the Wild, which is one of my all-time favorites, but it's called Shabanu, Daughter of the Wind, and the author is Suzanne Fisher Staples. And it's a young adult novel. It's a coming-of-age kind of story. It talks about, social mores and expectations that families have for young people. This young girl is 11 years old, going on 12, and she is expected to get married when she reaches puberty, when she can have babies. And her family has selected someone for her to marry, and but things go awry, things go wrong, and her betrothed loved one ends up, something happens. And this is a realistic fiction, and it uses a lot of realism. The setting is in Pakistan, by Afghanistan and India, during modern times. Is that Central Asia? I think that is Central Asia, isn't it? It's very engaging. The language that the author uses is vivid, expressive, and emotive, and you feel the tension, and you feel the joy, and you feel the frustration of the father with this young girl, and you sense their desperation. The story has about 23 chapters, and I don't know how many pages, though. I think it has maybe over close to 200 or a little over 200 pages. And it's one of those books you want, if you're a parent of a middle school age child, or if you're an older sibling of a middle school age or high school age, sibling, it's one of those books you want to partner read and discuss. It's not for young kids. It's not for kids who have not reached puberty, and it's not for immature kids either who have reached puberty, because it does discuss what happens to young girls when they reach puberty, and it talks about what happens on a farm. I mean, well, they're in a desert, and they're nomads in a desert. If you ever lived on a farm, then you won't be shocked by some of the details in the book. But it's tastefully written. It's well written. It's very interesting, and I think it's culturally relevant. And I think it's very respectful. The tone of it is very respectful of how she presents the religious beliefs and the customs and practices of this religious traditional setting. So, Shabanu, Daughter of the Wind. Suzanne Fisher Staples is the author. Check it out. You can find it on Amazon for maybe a couple of bucks. And for you parents, I think on Amazon there may still be like the teacher unit available, where you can get, if you're going to read this with your child and you just want to check their understanding of what they're reading, then you can get the teacher workbook on Amazon. And if you don't want to spend any money on it, you can Google Shabanu, Daughter of the Wind. Google that, and you could find the Glencoe teacher unit and use it this summer to help your child stay actively engaged in reading, and also so that you can really gauge and see if your child is understanding the content of what they read, because reading is more than just saying, oh, I finished a book. If your child can discuss the content, the characters, the plot, the sequence of events, the meanings of the themes, can tell you what certain vocabulary words mean that are used in the story. If your child can explain the motives of characters, like why a character would do a certain action, then your child is reading and understanding. But if your child is just going through very quickly from page to page and then can't tell you anything about it, well, that's not reading. Okay. All right. Read, y'all. Bye. What's your favorite novel?